business things.
Okay.
You never know who you're going to talk to when you call a shop. That's the beauty of it. Could be Shaw, could be me, could be Roberto, could be Rudnick, could be Tommy. Probably not Tommy. Could be somebody you don't know. Could be somebody I don't know. If they hang out at the shop long enough, they're allowed to answer the phone. So, I did a thing. Well, I didn't. It's not really a thing. I've been hammering the scooter, and I decided to go ahead and do a little inspection, disassembly, and I took the top end off, and I noticed something extremely interesting. So, the piston, when I took it off, this is the piston, as you can see, ringland area, perfect, no problems. I noticed the top is concave now. So she was definitely on her way to melting a hole, which is great. So I put another piston in, and she runs like a top, but I think that the reason for that is mostly because it's an air-cooled engine and it gets really hot. So I monitor the head temperatures, and the head temperatures were getting over 400 degrees on my speed runs. I jetted up and everything. I couldn't get it to come down. The temperature just stayed skyrocketing every time I would make a speed run, which is an inherent issue, obviously, with a air-cooled engine. So I went ahead, put another piston in for now. That way I can keep playing with it. It runs like a bat out of hell. If I'm just doing sprints, 8th mile, you know, little drag races and stuff, it's perfect. But obviously I'm ridiculous. So I went ahead and ordered a liquid-cooled setup from my homies over at scootertuning.ca. So they hooked it up on a TRT 2 Fast that I'm going to throw on it, and I got all the radiator and water pump and stuff to do the conversion. So I got the carburetor dialed in like perfect now. Of course, I'm going to have to redo that, which is great.
You had too much HPs.
Too much HPs. Too much HPs. It was getting too hot. So the liquid cool setup is going to work a lot better. Shaw's going to continue to make fun of me, which is great. As long as he's making fun of me, I'm happy. So
we got a customer. You hear that noise?
Let's go talk to him. All right, Shaw's talking to him. They don't like it when I talk to customers. I guess I'm an asshole sometimes, but hey, whatever. At least I don't sugarcoat shit. Regardless, so like I was saying, I ordered the liquid cooled setup. So that should be here probably next week or so. I'm not in a hurry. I am waiting for our motorcycle dyno. So I know a lot of y'all were asking me what I was getting. Some of you already knew that. But I ordered a motorcycle dyno for the shop. That should be here in a couple of weeks. That way I'll be able to actually dyno tune two-wheeled shit. So I'm excited for that. So stay tuned. I'm gonna throw everything that I can on it and see what it does. The scooter right now, I'm estimating is probably close to 20 horsepower to the wheel. You know, anything over 15, I'm pretty happy with that air-cooled setup, but it's gonna be pretty close. I think roughly in that 15 to 20 horse range, which is, I know is kind of a wide range for a scooter, but with the TRT cylinder, I'm hoping to exceed that 20 horsepower and maybe even get closer to 25 horsepower. So we'll see. Excited about that. I'll probably end up killing myself on this scooter, but whatever, it's just way too much fun at this point. As it is right now, it's hard to keep the front wheel down without leaning forward on it. So with the water-cooled setup, I'll be able to push it for a more extended period of time without worrying about my piston turning into a bowl. So I've already kind of just started playing with stuff. I cut these reliefs here. I'm gonna have to mount the radiator setup. I ordered a little dual radiator, so it's got two real thin radiators that's gonna sit here. So I'm gonna continue cutting this plastic when I get the radiators. And Scooter Tuning CA, they made a frame mount that actually, there's, you know, the main bar is right behind this. They made a frame mount that grabs onto the frame here, and then the radiators bolt on either side, and airflow obviously gets through right there. So my legs are gonna be hot, but my motor's not, and that's good for me. But other than that, just an electric water pump will be able to get rid of the mechanical fan, which I've already trimmed down to barely anything. Since this thing spins to 14,000 RPM right now, the factory size for the fan, or the OEM size for the fan, is way too big. This thing is just try hard at that point. So huge parasitic losses with that. Another cool thing that I did was I kick-started the shit out of this thing, and the kickstart retaining clip came off, so the Kickstarter went in a little bit and it made a big confusion inside and basically jammed my Kickstarter against the cover, and the thing just cracked and broke off. So I am not an aluminum welder by any means, so I just boogered the living hell out of it, and so that's working again. I have another case that should be here today. I'll probably size that up and check it out, maybe make some cuts on it or whatever, because I really like the vented, but whatever. And my box of misfit parts is growing now, so it's great, which means I can probably build another scooter really soon. We'll see what happens. I got this Dell'Orto that I took off. I got my little Hoka Racing ignition, which is pretty sweet because it's a lighter flywheel, but it's not as good as the inner rotor. And this also still has lighting and power that's being applied, so it was never really a fully performance setup. So now the Stage 6 ignition that's on it is a full inner rotor with no power output for charging or lights or anything like that, so there's no parasitic loss there. That's the best setup. Oh man,
Present for you.
sweet. Thanks, bro.
You're welcome, buddy.
So there's my case. There's my CVT cover. So you know we're just gonna open that up now. So let's see what this looks like. This is from partsforscooters.com. Super, super cool people. They're here in Florida. So I order stuff when I need stuff quick that's OEM. And then, like, you know, basic modification stuff like that ignition, the Hoka ignition, they had that, and like this case cover. I'm cutting right through my packing slip, which is great. And you know, anything OEM related I get from them, but anything performance, like real performance related, I'm getting that stuff from scootertuning.ca. So here is the goods. I couldn't tell online in the pictures online if it was a flat black or not, and it is a flat black, which is kind of cool. Kind of matches the theme of the bike. And it looks like your typical setup. It already has an area here in the front that's somewhat vented. So I might leave this off because it's clearly not structural, it's a piece of plastic. So that's pretty cool. I already got that opened up. So I'm gonna size this thing up, see how it fits. Paint's already got a little chip and nick on it, so definitely not high quality. This is serious Chinese good stuff. And I got the bearing and a bushing for the Kickstarter itself. Hopefully I don't need anything else. Quick tip for anybody doing stuff like this, any kind of bearing install. Aluminum case, steel bearing, and it's a press fit, so it doesn't just go in. Instead of whacking on the bearing race to get it in there and possibly cracking the case, I'm going to freeze the bearing, which I usually do, and then I'm going to hit this with a torch real quick just to get it warm, and this bearing should just drop right in, and when it returns to ambient temperature, it's going to be locked in. So there it is. I went ahead and just heated it up with my trusty heat gun for about 30 seconds or so, and I had the bearing in the freezer for like an hour or so. Not even that long. It was pretty cool, and it just slid right in. So now it's in there. Put my kickstart lever on there, and it's ready to bolt on. This is kind of a pain in the butt to put in, but it worked. Done. And this is just the cool little cover that kind of just goes on there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet for that, but I'm definitely going to do some ventilation back here eventually. But for now, I'm just happy I have a one-piece CVT cover that's not freaking hobbled together anymore. As you can see, I really put some effort into this. So this is now the spare. Barely. Back in action.
I have her to lose.
Berto, a year older.
I'm a year older now.
How's your skateboard?
Good. Got some new bushings for it.
Nice. It's a good birthday present. What else did you
and
get?
thank you to everyone that called the shop at midnight and or sent me Instagram messages.
You like that?
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Roberto got some really good stuff for his birthday. Somebody sent him these. Magic stones. They look pretty cool. What are you going to do with them?
I don't even know, man. Like, I'm usually pretty good at these kinds of things.
Can you just cast some spells or something with them?
What's the motherfucking name? Yeah.
One of these. Front finger. That's it.